Maxwell Nee, founder of this cool app I've been using, ScoreApp, all the way from, are you in Singapore right now?
Yeah, I live in Singapore.
Yep. I didn't know if you travel, if you're doing this from Australia or something, but I'll look Singapore, man. Welcome to the Sales Podcast. How the heck are you?
Really good, Wes. Thank you for having me.
So, are you a homebody like me? I hate traveling, or are you like all over the place?
I am all over the place, but I do love, a few weeks of traveling. I do love a week of just sitting at home, sitting on the couch. I really recharge that way. So I
Yeah.
think I'm a bit like you as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So, born and raised in Singapore?
No. So I'm Australian. But I've moved here for business a few years ago. But all of my business interests are actually outside of Singapore. So, this company, ScoreApp, is in the UK, in England. And then the rest of my businesses are in Australia.
Nice. So, I want to touch on each of them as much as we can, but I love getting and understanding how something was created, because you see a lot of interviews and guys are like, yeah, well, I saw a need and filled it. I saw this, we wrote some code, hired a couple of programmers, and we got 7,000 customers, and yeah, your life is good. Like, what? Yeah.
How
You
does
have
that happen?
partners. Yeah. Do you have partners? Did you, are these all on Fiverr? Are you a coder by nature? Who was your first paying customer? So, all that good stuff.
Mm.
So Score App, is it quizzes? Is it surveys? Is it landing pages? A little bit of everything?
Yeah, it's everything. So it's a quiz marketing software. There's a free version. There's $39 a month, all the way up to $119, and so it's quite cheap. And think of it as like ClickFunnels, but with some more specific features to quiz marketing, right? Quiz marketing, assessment marketing. And what's quiz marketing? The really common example that most people know is, find out what body type you are to hit your summer goals, and then you find out, are you the small, medium, or large body type, and then depending on that, you get a personalized report for your fitness goals, right? So we help clients, coaches, consultants, authors, service providers, financial planners, accountants, create their own little quiz for their business, which is like an ultra engagement tool, a two-way marketing process for their clients.
So you mentioned ClickFunnels, like who's a competitor? Is it the Typeforms of the world, or people trying to just get away with a Google form and trying to make a kind of some hybrid answers out of that, or not really them and more of just the other pure play quiz apps?
So as far as we know, we actually don't have any large competitors in the world. We did have one that was doing something very similar, but we've recently just merged with that group. So we're in the UK, they're based in the US, and we acquired them, and that's very exciting, because then we're pretty much the only ones, especially with both of our resources put together. Well, we're the only ones doing this in this way. But in terms of what do you use us for and why would you use us? A typical conversion rate for any type of landing page might be 10-15%, right? Up to 20. Quiz funnels typically are 20 to 40%, because that's how engaging they are. That sort of pulls people in. People love to learn about themselves, and all of our products help people learn something about themselves. That's a bit like the special cherry on top, right? And we've been going for about 5 years now. We've got 7,000 paying clients plus another 100,000 using the free version.
Good grief.
Yeah.
All right. So 5 years, 7,000 and 100,000. So like, how did this come about? Did you invent it? Did you create it? Did you acquire it?
So my business partner invented it. So I'm actually not the founder. just one of the angel investors, as well as, I was a bit of like an advisor, like helping to introduce partnerships right at the beginning. And it takes a lot, right? So you got to have the entrepreneur guy that goes out and talks about it and sells it. You got to have the tech guy that sort of stays at home and builds a tech team to build it. And then you got to have everything in between, right? Customer service and everything else. So, one of those businesses every tech business is one of those businesses that either someone's going to have deep pockets to put, say, $1 million over 3 years to build this thing and support it whilst
Is that what it costs?
Getting momentum. I think, total angel investors right now is about $1 million. We haven't used all that, but that's a bit like a nice round number that you got to have to build a tech business. And then depending on how fast you grow, you either need to, use all that or get some more money, or you might take less. But building tech takes time, and time needs to be paid. Tech engineers don't work for free. So that's got to be funded from somewhere.
Interesting. So did the founder, did he come to you? Did you find him?
Yeah, so we've worked with each other before on a few different things. And the way it started for me is I used to have a business coaching business where I help people with sales, marketing, help them to get their presence up online. But we're doing about $250K per month. And we climbed up to that pretty quickly. So we climbed up to $2.5 million a year in less than 2 years. And one of the tools that we used to generate all of that interest, those leads, those sales, was our own version of ScoreApp. But it was exactly what you said. It was a Frankenstein Google form / Google Sheet plus Zapier version, which costs 3 times more and took 8 times more time to adjust and improve. And then Daniel sent me an email saying, "Hey, look, we're building this thing. It's already built. We've been using it. It works. Would you like to be part of the journey?" I said, "Wow, I'd love to put some money into this because I'm using this right now, just a really, really horrible version. And you've got one that's pretty, that now uses AI. So you actually don't need any marketing experience to use our to build a marketing campaign with our platform. You answer a bunch of questions and the AI will write it for you. Then you just got to go in there and polish it on top."
Yeah. Nice. So how did you know or decide to switch from, because I take it based on your verbiage that you don't have the coaching business anymore. So how did you know whether it was the right move to shut that down or sell it and go in on this?
Well, I didn't, and I think that no one does. But but what's attractive about this is, in a coaching business, coaching is like a service business, right? Service business requires humans to deliver a service to get paid, and that means it always takes time. Which means that it could be great for cash flow. Like you get cash out of your coaching business. You could offer coaching today, they could pay you today. Like just like that, right? You don't need to build tech. You don't need to spend 9 months building tech before you know it's going to work. So, but after I, scaled that business to pretty high amount, I was working crazy hours, like 17-hour days. I thought, you know what? When I build a business now, I only want to build a business that has enterprise value, which means that someone might want to buy the whole business for a high multiple of its revenue as a whole package, right? Because that's what's interesting, that's what's exciting. So I then decided to only get involved with businesses like ScoreApp that have all the things that build enterprise value, which is recurring revenue, thousands of clients, so the income's totally diversified. There's no concentration risk. There's technology in there that is IP specific to the company. So if someone were to copy it, it would take them 5 years to copy it, right? And then the last piece is that it's scalable. It's not like you're running a a Facebook ads agency where every time you get 10 clients, you need to hire 3 people. Like we could take on 10,000 clients tomorrow and nothing would break.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. But how, I mean, eventually there could be competition, right? I mean, everything gets competition.
Yeah.
So how do you decide like what features to put in, what features to leave out? Is the goal to remain like lean and mean, be the Chick-fil-A, right? It's like, hey, we got chicken. You want a hamburger? Go to In-N-Out, versus, McDonald's, they got everything. Although I did read they did away with salads. So, okay, I don't eat salads. I mean, they've experimented obviously with adding a whole bunch of stuff to the menu. So, in software, it's tempting to put more features in, right?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. How do you balance that?
How do we shape the business, right? How do we decide what's going to shape the business? Well, like every business, which, we don't do a lot, especially guys probably like you and I, like sales guys, is you just got to go by the data. What data metrics are you trying to improve? So in a software company, the most critical is there's 2 critical numbers that you look at. The first number is your growth per month, like how much is it growing? We're sitting at about sometimes it's 1.5, sometimes 2.5, sometimes it's 5% per month, which is a pretty fat number. 5% per month is 80% a year. And that's the people in, and then there's the people out. So the people out is probably an even more important number, which is the churn. So how many people are dropping off at the end of each month? We're sitting under 10%, which is good, but it's not bulletproof yet. Bulletproof is like under 5, under 3%. That's when you got a real bulletproof company. So we just focus on the features that make a difference to that.
Is that churn, is that a monthly rate or an annual rate?
Annual rate. Yeah. So roughly a client will stay with us for 12 to 14 months by the numbers. So if we can extend that, if we get that to 2 years, then it's something special.
What are they switching to? Because I love quizzes. I mean, I've used it. It's been my top lead tool for, I don't know, 14 years. Do you quiz them, or, no pun intended, do you survey them, client exit? Like, what are they going to?
So we don't have that data yet. We actually just discovered that to that exit survey process and putting that process in, because we've got 7,000 clients, right? We can't get someone to go around and call these people. We've got that process coming in very shortly, but the gut feeling is that people turn it on and off as they need it, right? So let's say you have a big campaign push 1 year because maybe let's say you launched the book, right? Then you build a quiz specifically to that book, and then now you're working on a new project or a new flavor to your business or a new product, new branch, and then you might turn it off to restart. So we don't know that those people actually disappear, but we just do know that they turn it on and off, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Which is exactly what a lot of people do. Like I've got YouTube membership, and I turn that on and off constantly because I'm sometimes I use it a lot, sometimes I never use it. So that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, but this is a lead generation tool. I mean, and I understand I've done book launches, I've done promos and events, and okay, but I would think you could look and see like people that have a certain percentage have 3 quizzes or 5 quizzes or 7 or more are probably more likely to stick around, right? Than the one-off, because you got to, push them, educate them and say, okay, you're doing a book launch. Fine. What's your homepage like? How else are you generating leads? Throw it on a link tree from your Twitter, from your Instagram and go generate leads. all the time. It's just,
Mm.
so it boggles my mind that, they use it and turn it off. It's like, what else are they doing? Um, so
Well, another number you have to remember is how many businesses make it past 10 years, less than 1%, right? So a lot of people as well, and I learned this in my business coaching business, they just go do different things. Like they might go open a cafe, right? They get bored of business coaching or accounting or whatever, and they do something completely different. So the longevity of the target audience as an audience is potentially less than 1 year or 3 years
right,
as a whole. Yeah.
right, yeah. So it was interesting. You mentioned ClickFunnels at the beginning. I mean, I wasn't putting you in the same quadrant as them. I mean, you're a much more consolidated tool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
ClickFunnels tries to be everything, uh, and I think does most things mediocre. I digress. Um, so why'd you pick them as the example?
Easy to understand. Easy to understand. A lot of people know them. They've been in the market for a long time. That's all really, we're a conversion tool. They're a conversion tool. We do it in a different way. And from a price point, we're about half the price. Our top
Yeah,
tier is about half the price. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, is there a CRM component to your tool, or is it integrating like natively or like Zapier or something? Is it going to push to my HubSpot or my Fusionsoft or Entreport?
Yes, yes, and yes. So
Okay,
there's an integrated CRM, there's native plugins, and there's Zapier.
okay. Is there an email tool in it?
No, there's no email tool. There is a few automated emails that go out, which is let's say I did the Wes's sales sales professional scorecard,
Sales
right?
sexiness.
How sexy are your sales, right? Scorecard. I would get a landing page with my results, and it's like, type in your email to make sure you want to get the full report. You got it here. Plus, there's a few more goodies in the report. Then they'd probably get 1-2 automated emails. And that little extra step is really powerful for a few reasons. A, you get the email, but B, they will open that email, which means that email goes into their whitelist, right? For the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, if someone's clicking your emails, opening it, pulling it out
Yes,
of junk, right?
yes,
Then it goes into whitelist, and all of a sudden, all of Wes's emails they're onwards, are getting to where they need to go.
right. So can I set this up? Can I have my own URL for the Score app?
Your own URL for the score. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So you
Okay.
port over your domain, you could port over a few because you got different scorecards,
Yep. Yep.
different books, launches,
Right.
brands. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it becomes its own one-page website, right? I mean, so are
Yeah.
you competing then? I mean, so Lead Pages is a competitor then, right? Or an alternative?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, any conversion page is I don't like using the word competitor, but
Right.
we can
And an
we can do the
alternative.
same function. Yeah, do the
An
same function
alternative.
plus more features.
Right.
Another example is a Zoom registration page. So people might use a Zoom registration page for like a workshop or webinar as a front page, get them to register, and then they put the scorecard on the back of.
Yeah. Once they register, then, hey, finish this. Either take you to a bonus or, do this to complete your registration. Yeah, totally. Um, yeah, I love it. What is this with AI? What is this going to make the entire page create the quiz for me?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So the AI wizard, it used to take about a day and a half to set up a scorecard, even if someone that's quite adept, someone like yourself. But that was always a pain, right? And a day and a half's a long time. And then, there's a bit of resistance there, people learning new things, right? Even though it's as simple as like setting up a website or a Facebook page. Then we've put in the AI wizard where it'll ask you 8 to 10 questions, and then it'll spit out, just like ChatGPT, it'll spit out a marketing campaign specific to your niche, your questions, your brand, your tone, what you're looking to do, which will write about 6 to 7 hours of copywriting for you. Like the whole value page, the whole first email, everything.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it can take a while, and like I said, I've had quizzes for years, and it can be. So I use it for people choosing CRMs, and what has been a pain for me is adding a new answer, right, or an alternative. So in the beginning, I was working with maybe 4 CRMs. Now I'm working with 7 or 8. So if I have 23 questions and I would give points to each one based on your answer to help you try to rack and stack and, rank order to give you a personalized recommendation. But, to add one CRM, I got to go add, I got to go to 23 times. I got to add it. Is there any way around that, or is that the nature of the beast? Or can I say insert this as a potential answer and boom, populate it to the whole thing?
Either way, you can do it either way.
Well, I mean, does your software allow that, that I could just say, add this as an option to all 23 questions? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there's 3 different buckets. There's the plus or minus, where you just like score 1 point for this, 5 points for this, or whatever.
Yes.
Then you've got the categories, which is, are you yellow, red, or green?
Yep.
Which is like the buckets.
Yep.
And then you have the custom field, which is pretty exciting. Custom field is, you might say, in your own words, how would you describe the problem that you're trying to solve? And then they'll answer that question that way. So those are the 3 categories. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But then, so if my options right now are red and blue, then I can just say, all right, now I add green. It'll just populate through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. So I think, so when you said Daniel was his name, right?
Yeah.
So Daniel reaches out to you, and you had already had a thriving business. So let's unpack that a little bit. How did that get started? Because it seems like you were successful. You had some money, you had some contacts. Hey, let me give you $1 million. Okay. Well, that's nice. How'd you get the $1 million?
Yeah. So the $1 million wasn't all from me. That was from a bunch of people.
Well, I understand.
Right? But
I mean,
yeah.
How'd you build that coaching business? Because a lot of people struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I struggled. So we struggled. So okay.
Good.
So there's a few.
All right.
Yeah.
You're human.
I'm not going to give you anything unrealistic, right? We definitely struggled. So, $2.5 million a year in under 2 years. The first 3-4 months we made zero because we were working shit out.
And who's we? You had a partner?
Yeah. So I had 2 other business partners. So there's 3 of us in the beginning, and then another one joined later on. So here are the highlights, right? The highlights are, if you're going to go into any industry, especially one as saturated as coaching, you have to be willing to do something different or special. So what we did that was different or special is we were, rightly or wrongly, always did group workshop calls. If one person showed up, we would do it. If 100 people showed up, we would do it. And then we would take those calls and we would coach people live in front of 99 other people. And if we got it wrong, we got it really wrong. But if we got it right, we got it really right in front of 100 people. So we really, really put our neck on the line and had to perform at a high level and had to commit to putting time in the business to over-service the audience. And then that just compounded like we wouldn't believe. So that's one thing. Another thing is, you can only grow that fast in a team. Like if you're a one person shop, there's only so much you can do. Because I've experienced a team working really well before, like synergistically, I don't believe in one person shops anymore, especially in like digital business. I think that, you want to have your striker, you want to have your goalkeeper, you want to have your midfield. And if everyone's in that position, there's like a real orchestrated harmony, and that could get a real engine moving, right? And if you don't have that, that's okay, but just be very well aware that, scaling beyond 50K a month, you probably end up, burning out before that happens, type of thing. And then the other thing I would say is, you got to be sharp. Like you got to constantly stay on top of the newest things. So we found quiz funnels and ScoreApp, but we didn't start that. We went through like 13 different iterations of trying to get ads to work and running to a video and trying to do videos and trying to do YouTube and trying to do LinkedIn. And we just did so many painful things and threw so much money at so many painful things before we found the one thing that works. And when you find the one thing that works, the thing that most, ultra optimistic, set the world on fire entrepreneurs don't want to hear is that when something's working, it should feel boring and you should feel bored. Because if you're bored and stress is low, then something's working really, really well. So that was a bit of a shock because I was so addicted to the excitement and fixing new problems and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I had no more problems to fix, a few times I caught myself making problems to fix. So that's like the gray hair scar tissue wisdom that I would love to share with anyone.
Yeah. I share that story because I got that advice from a guy because I was bored and I was getting a little jaded, and he popped my ass, man. You're supposed to be bored.
Yeah. Peace is boring, right? Peace, harmony is boring, and
people run around creating chaos, creating mess, but hell, it's biblical, right? Adam and Eve hanging out. Hey, let's go do what we shouldn't do. Why not just hang out in Utopia?
In the Garden of Eden, yeah.
It's like, come on, man. So, I tell people all the time, you don't have to be Christian to understand. You need to study the Bible. Anything that lives thousands of years has a couple lessons in there, so figure it out. That's good. But on the Score app, like what are some tips and tricks, some best practices for quizzes? Should they be long? Should they be short? Should I put everything on one page? Should I make each one click through? Should I have a status bar? What are some things, we should and shouldn't do?
Well, we have that. We've already worked out all the best things to put into this app. So that you can't select non-optimal things, type of thing, right? So, yes, one question at a time. You don't want to give someone like a form to fill out. It doesn't want to feel like a form, right? Like Google Form is great because it's responsive and it's Google, but it feels like you're filling out a medical form, right? Because it sits in front of your face like that. So you don't want that. You also want, if you want higher numbers, then you probably want to put the email capture and the phone capture at the end. If you want lower numbers, but you only want to talk to super qualified people, then you want to put the email capture at the front. I would say if you're good at making content and you're good at nurturing people and you're good at, actually communicating with your email list, then you want higher numbers. If not, and you just want to talk to people and bang in sales, and you're good on the phone and good at doing sales straight off the first, 3 calls, then put at the front, right? Because you only want those qualified people. Then I would also say that you want to include video. You want to have a video on the landing page, a video on the results page, a video maybe in the first email. The content of that video is irrelevant. What you're looking to do is to break the barrier of this is AI automated text, right? And this is where's the sales dude that lives in Baton Rouge that's is a real person that knows his stuff, and this is what his voice sounds like. This is what his demeanor and his energy feels like if you were to jump on a call, so that when they jump on that first call, that ice breaking we've already met has already happened in their mind, right? Um, and then the easiest
Should I
win.
autoplay the video?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, autoplay the video. Yeah, like just with captions, right? Because you don't want people watch videos on their phone. Not everyone has sound on with captions, video, and then you also want to put this thing everywhere. Like we've got like a win document that says, look, if you put your scorecard in these 10 places or 9 places, you'll accidentally have leads that will just fall in that you're totally missing. In your email signature. Email signature is a huge quick win. On your LinkedIn profile where it says click this link here, that's a huge quick win. Your email signature in a LinkedIn message, especially the welcome message, is a huge quick win, right? So all of these passive things, it's not like you got to keep posting, click this every single day. It's all the passive places that actually is quite exciting.
okay, I like it. So what is working for y'all now? Like, how are you getting the word out? Is it a lot of ads? Is it organic? Because the world seems noisy and crowded and jaded, right?
Yeah, it's horrible. And the world's super noisy. So, I have been in, say, Facebook ads when you could get leads for $1. Like we used to get our Frankenstein early scorecard leads for $1 in 2018, and now it's like $50, right? So things stop working so quickly. So you really have to invest in the long term. Is what I've learned. So we have about 100 to 150 people register for ScoreApp, whether it's free or paid version, every single day. So that's 3 to 4, 5,000 people a month, every single month, just like clockwork. And we're running almost zero ads.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got SEO working, we have YouTube videos working, and where the rubber really hits the road is podcasts. So I've registered, they haven't all been released yet, but I've registered for about 57 podcasts in the last 6 months. Because, ScoreApp plus podcasts is a really, really powerful tool. That's another place, your listen notes. That's a really good place to put your scorecard as well. So, we have, if you think about it, podcast is so underrated, right? You have a platform that people would listen to. The average person that listens to a podcast listens to 7 hours a week, an hour a day, right? That's more time than a lot of people might spend with their partners if both partners are working full time, right? And that's quality time. You're at the gym, undivided attention. They're usually zoning, and also people that listen to podcasts are usually listening to it because they want to improve their lives. It's not dumb entertainment. It's not like Netflix, right? It's people that are tuning in on an educational journey. They want to invest in something. They want to invest in themselves. So it's just like this really, really high quality premium filter that you could use and you get a lot of attention per week, and it's free. Like,
Yeah.
so you can't you can't buy that type of exposure anymore. And I'll give you another example. So, I did, like, I don't know, 3 podcasts, and then the total views was like 20,000 across the 3, right? Which isn't a big number because you see 10 million views on YouTube and whatever else. However, the seating, the floor seats, the maximum seating arrangement in Madison Square Garden is 19,500. So I formed, so to speak, to a Madison Square Garden level of stadium in 3 hours of work at no cost, right? And they can replay that anytime.
They're going to replay it. Yeah. I mean, my podcast is 11 years old. So, I mean, my first guests I've been linking to them, and people have been listening for 11 and a half years.
Yeah. And
So-
if you want to improve your Google ability, podcast is really looking fruit because, all the platforms are top rated, Apple, Listen Notes, YouTube, right? LinkedIn. So you could have 3 good podcasts and 10 years of bad PR, and it would move to the top. Yeah.
How are you getting on podcasts? Do you have an agency? Do you have like a staff person?
I've got a staff person. So I worked with her for a long time. I worked with her in my previous business. We've gone through a lot of training together. But yeah, you just got to find that person that's like that, dynamic Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
That can book people, message them on Instagram, follow them up, and find the right people.
How do you find them? I mean, are you leveraging AI, to get lists, or is it just out there,
You'd have
mining?
to ask her. You have to ask her that, to be honest. But a really simple way is, let's say I find your podcast on my phone. I go to Apple. I taught her how to do this. As soon as I open up yours, there's 15 recommended ones that are a similar audience, because that's how the algorithm works. So I just taught her to just keep working down that pyramid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you are doing it though, like a little more manually versus, because I get
manual. I don't have any life hacks. I'm sorry for
because I get so many. Well, I get so many requests. I created a template and I just reply because most of them they're mass produced. I'm getting crappy emails. Because look, once I publish this one, hi Wes, I really enjoyed the podcast, especially your episode with Maxwell Nee, where he talked about the importance of leveraging podcasts to get on other shows. Anyway, I'm like, okay, it's just a form letter. It's a bulk. And my LinkedIn, I have a dash in my name. And I stumbled upon that. I put a emoji in my name. I put a little red phone back in the day just to stand out. But then I started noticing how many people were scraping LinkedIn and sending me messages. Hi, Wes dash, Wes question mark, Wes weird symbols. Usually the red phone wouldn't come through their software, right? They're using ClickFunnels or whatever, and it wouldn't capture that emoji, so it just threw some random. I'd have a lot of question marks and a star. So that's a dead giveaway. Hi, West Dash. Okay, this is a scrape. So I'm sorry. When they are human, it stands out. So that's how I found you. You found me.
Yeah, I've got a few hacks that overcome that, right? So, if you're messaging someone, DMing or whatever, and you might scrape it, but clean it.
Yes.
What I recommend is to show people that you've cleaned it, is to exaggerate their name. So they might write Wes with 3 S's. Almost a bit like how a really close friend would message you. Because then, no AI would misspell your name, and it looks and it captures the eye as well. So if I was doing my assistant's job, I'd make sure to do that, where relevant.
See, I knew I'd get the tip out of you. I put the sales whisper mojo on you, man, and I pulled it out of you. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
You adjusted your schedule for me. I got to run to the dock, but your app, I want to make sure. So your website is ScoreApp with 2 P's, right? ScoreApp.com. I'm linking to your LinkedIn as well. You have 4 plans right now, right? But people can start for free.
Yes.
Right. So should they just hit your webpage and take a quick? Well, you've got a demo. They could try for free. You got it's not really a video. Well, kind of showing the options. Should they just jump in? Because there's always confusion, no matter what, how simple something is. There's still confusion. People don't know how to use it correctly. I mean, so are there tutorials? How can they get the most out of this?
We have a weekly workshop with a live person. It's called Setup and Score. When you get set up, you get invited to that. Yeah. So weekly workshop, live person.
Even the free people.
Yeah, especially the free people. Right.
Yeah, okay. Good.
That's how we graduate them to learning all the paid features. Right.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
relevant to them. So our internal mantra is we want to force you to be successful. Right. And one part of that is we've got a freebie here, a book called Scorecard Marketing, written by my business partner, best-selling author, all that type of stuff. And he, in this book, it breaks down 2 sections: why it works and how it can work for you. So if you go to ScoreApp, ScoreApp.com/book, we'll get you out a physical copy, if we can. If not, you get a PDF as soon as we can.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm linking to that. And I'm going to sign up for a workshop.
Yeah. Sign up for a workshop, like let us do as much heavy lifting with you as possible. Yeah. No brainer.
All right. Hey, I like no brainer. I'm from the South, man. Let's keep this.
Keep it simple.
I'm not a smart man. I've got to keep this simple like a box of chocolates. All right.
Yeah, I love it.
Very cool. So what time is it for you?
It is
like noon?
7:20 a.m. right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Very nice. Well, I'm wrapping up the day and you're starting it off. All right. Well, I'm linking out Maxwell Nee, co-founder. Is that the proper title?
No, I'm the chief revenue officer. Yeah.
Chief revenue officer. All right. Smart man, identifying something good, jumping in on it, making it happen. Cool. ScoreApp.com/book. So I'm linking to that as well. Well, man, thanks for coming on the show. It's been great catching up.
Perfect. Likewise. Cheers, mate.
Hey, man. Cheers.